Okay, going live now.
Okay, so
You
I'll
can start from the top.
sure. We are good to go, right, Pratisha?
Yes.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Runway Season 4 launch event. My name is Zen. I'm part of the University Relations team here at Flipkart, and I'm joined by four Flipsters whom I'll introduce shortly. Uh, some of you who may have joined a few minutes earlier, thank you for waiting. If you know anybody who is yet to join in, please ask them to join the YouTube link. We will structure the event into three broad sections. We will have our leaders sharing their experience of what is it at Flipkart and why Flipkart uh, for you all, right? So we'll try and touch upon those topics. We also have two alums joining us today who will share their experiences of their runway journey and how they've been doing so far. And towards the end, we will have a Q&A section. We have already got a few questions and we'll take up a few live ones as well. Anything that we are not able to cover in this short 1 hour that we have with you all today, we will float another form and share an FAQ document in case we're not able to address your query. With this, with considering we're already at 5:07, I will take a minute to introduce our panels today. We have Prajakta, who heads One Tech and eCard HR at Flipkart. She's vice president and has been at Flipkart for the last 4 years. She comes with more than 2 decades of experience and is a renowned HR leader. We also have Varsha Saha, who is an engineering manager at Flipkart and has will be completing a decade at Flipkart very soon. And we have Shruti Sharma and Mitali Jain, who are Runway Season 2, who were an audience when I remember we started the program in 2021. And after that, they would have, tuned in and probably seen me talking some things, which I'm doing again and welcoming all of you to season 4 of the program. Thank you so much, Prajakta, Varsha, Mitali, and Shruti for joining in today. Uh, to start the session, Prajakta, I would hand it over to you to talk about what Flipkart stands for, what is Runway, and why is it something that's crucial for students today, and anything else that you want to add.
Sure, Zen. So very good evening, everyone. Great to have you with us. And as Zen said, my name is Prajakta. Been at Flipkart now for close to 5 years. And let me tell you a little bit about how we started. So we started this in 2021. And the idea was, how do we tap women early in their careers to provide them with an accelerated pathway for a successful career in tech, and if possible at Flipkart. It aims at laying a strong foundation for women in technology. And how do we do that, right? I think the intent is by giving early exposure to developmental opportunities, through challenging real-time problem statements that you get to work on, that as organizations we face, right? And through that phase, we also make sure we're providing mentoring and networking opportunities as well. So we've grown now our reach to about 1,500 plus campuses as of last season. And I'm sure this year we will, kind of achieve new heights. And our intent this season is to focus on engagement, with our means, whatever is at our disposal as Flipkart, to help women engineers maximize the opportunity through this entire process. Her today, text tomorrow. That's our tagline for this year's Runway Season 4. And let me talk a little bit about Runway as well. Sorry. Runway is not just a one-time opportunity, right? So as engineers in second year of education, once the runway is over, once the second year and your season is over, the post internship opportunity, right? You will also get, we offer shortlisted cohort a third year internship as well with us. And we follow that up with a full-time offer if you're doing really well with us. After evaluating your overall performance, as I was saying, through the internship program as well. So it's a longer term engagement. And we hope that most of you see us through this longer term engagement. And we see most of you or many of you working with us at Flipkart at the end of it as well. So, as I said, it's not a skill building program only, but it's also a hiring program to onboard early talent, work with them, to develop them, grow them, and help them achieve, their career aspirations. So at Flipkart, we always talk about our values. I'll give you a short introduction to our values as well. We have 5 values at Flipkart: audacity, bias for action, customer first with inclusion and integrity. And let me give you maybe one line introduction to what they mean. Audacity is all about setting targets that are bold, that you can go after. You have to figure out how do you get there, right? Bias for action is about how do you do things quickly, minimum viable product, right? Learn from mistakes and move ahead quickly. Customer first is everything we do. How do you keep customer at the center? Because especially as a B2C e-commerce organization, we are here, we exist for our customers. So keeping them at the center of every decision we make. And all of this is only possible on the bedrock of making sure as a culture we are inclusive. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whichever part of the country you belong to, state, language you speak, religion, gender, right? All of us get equal opportunity to succeed in this environment, and integrity is a given, right? Integrity is black and white at Flipkart. So I think it is an environment that hopefully, also gives each and every one of you also, just like I have experienced it, and I'm sure many of my colleagues here will also share that with you, an equal opportunity to succeed and grow and learn. So our intent through Runway is the same. How do we give that equal opportunity to all of you who are talented, aspiring young minds? And our purpose is to empower India's billions by delivering value through innovation in technology and commerce. That's our purpose as Flipkart. So with that, if you haven't registered yet for Runway, please go ahead and register soon and get ready to get your technology career flying through Runway. So with that, Zain, I'm handing it back to you.
Thank you so much, Praj, for your inspiring words and sharing the overall purpose of Flipkart, the values, and why Runway. I'm sure the students would have found it useful. And if you have questions, again, just reiterating, you can submit your questions for Prajakta using the form which was shared through Unstop, and we'll be happy to answer them. Coming up next, without further delay, handing it over to Varsha to talk about her experience. She's been in Flipkart for, as I mentioned, almost about to complete a decade when we'll have a party. And I'm sure she has a lot of things to say. She has also been a manager to one of the Flinterns, ex-Flinterns here, right? Shruti, who was originally part of season 2. So over to you, Varsha, to take it forward.
Thank you, Zen. Hi, everyone. Good evening to everyone who's attending this session. It is delightful to see so many people interested in projects like these, because it kind of helps us also come to the fact that, why we need to do this. So thank you for everyone for attending this session. Coming to my journey, I have been, as Zen mentioned, I have been a part of Flipkart for almost a decade now. I just finished my 9 years back in Feb. And to say that it has been a wonderful journey would be a high understatement. Because to be very honest, this journey has been so full of excitement and thrill and things that, I've got to do. The amount of opportunities that Flipkart has created for me and for my growth personally, I think nothing can ever compare to that. I joined Flipkart in 2015, back in 2015, as an SD1 or a UI1. And since then, it's been 9 years, and I've grown from 1 to 2 to 3, 4, TL, and now NEM. So the growth has been massive. Me as a person, me as an individual, as an engineer, has also grown a lot in these 9 years. So it's not just been a professional growth, I'd say. It's also a very personal growth that I've seen in myself changing or evolving as a person, evolving as a leader. All of that would have not been possible if Flipkart was not there to provide that platform. As I grew from SD1, and many of you, once you join Flipkart, you'll also get to know. So a lot of people ask me this question, that you've been here for a very long time. What makes you stay here, apart from, let's say, the growth part of it? And I would like to just say that the opportunities or the kind of work that I've gotten to do in the last 9 years, it's been exhilarating. I don't feel the need to go out and do something else because I know that I'm still getting those opportunities here. And it's hard, it's tough to have such an environment, when you've been a part of this organization for so long. I started my career in the customer experience team at Flipkart, which is more to do with the customer care agents and how they operate on day-to-day basis with the customers. So let's say if you call Flipkart.com, somebody will answer your call, somebody will look at a portal, get to know about your issue or add to that issue, make a decision, and then get back to you, right? So that is what happens when you call the customer support. So I was initially a part of that team. Being a developer on that team, I kind of built that entire portal with my teammates. Today, 9 years later, I think 9 or 7 years later, I'd say, because 2 years I'd still consider making that portal. 7 years later, that portal is live with all our sibling companies, which is Myntra, Jabong, everybody who is part of Flipkart org uses that portal. So that kind of gratification that you get, not only in creating a product, but that product being used by multitudes of people, I think that's very humbling, and that's what keeps pushing you to kind of do more in your workplace. So that is how my journey started. And then I started learning about all these new technologies. React was just new in the market at that time. I know, and a lot of people had not experimented with it. So we had these discussions with the React core team as well as how to, kind of code that into the right structure and make this more scalable across organizations. So I think that was an interesting project. And after that, I remember I gave a lot of talks and sessions. Even in Germany, there's a conference called JS Congress. They invited me to give a session on that. In India, we have JS channel, and I was invited to give a talk on that. So a lot of things started happening for me overall when I decided to join Flipkart and decided to pursue the opportunities that I was given. So of course, that was a gradual journey from SD1 to 2 to 3. And then very briefly, I joined the merchandising team as well at Flipkart to see what happens at the background of it. So let's say when you open Flipkart.com, there are a lot of content on Flipkart.com. Where does it get powered from? How does it get powered from? So all of these things, right? How does all of the entire Flipkart infrastructure really works in the background? That is how I got to know about it. But I was still kind of pushing myself for more, and I wanted to understand what is it that our consumer apps or what is it our main apps or website do. And that's when I decided to switch to the main Flipkart.com site, the app experience side. And since then, I've been here. So I joined as a 3 and then became a EM here. Currently, I'm leading the web platform along with the next 200 million ideas at Flipkart.com. So that's how gratifying this has been. Now, coming to the point that there are points in anyone's career where you think that you're stuck or where you think you're not progressing. And that can happen a lot of time, and that can happen often, even with organizations as great as Flipkart. But what worked for me or how I kind of came out of that position being stuck was that one, I kept increasing my knowledge as I went along. As I mentioned, I have been part of multiple teams, so I did not stick to one team within Flipkart. Because Flipkart owns and caters to so many things, it was essential for me to understand what each of them do. So that has been exciting. Two, having the right mentors in your workplace, having the right set of people who can guide you. When you feel stuck in a role, when you feel stuck in where you are, I think that is something that Flipkart has openly contributed to in my career, where I've never, ever felt that I'm kind of just pushed down into a sea and I'm asked to swim myself. I've always had the right mentorship. I've always had the right setup where people were betting on my growth. And I think that kind of perception, any organization that gives you, will always make ambitious people, take that opportunity by the neck. So I think that has been great for me. And it wouldn't have been possible if Flipkart's values, as Prajakta also mentioned, weren't in place. The inclusion, the integrity, right? The bias for action, customer obsession, your audacity, all of these matter. Then we do not teach all of these in a ABCII sort of a way, right? We do not say, hey, do this, hey, do that, be inclusive. No, we lead by example. So today, if I learn from my mentors onto how to be a certain way, and I've imbibed those qualities, I definitely want to do that for people who join Flipkart from now on. And I think Shruti has been one of my reports in the past. And I think with her shared experiences, maybe she can shed a light on how it has been for her. But that is how Flipkart operates. So we do not just, the inclusion is not just about diversity. The inclusion is not just about voice on the table. Inclusion also includes your growth mindset, every individual getting equal opportunities, getting their fair share of contributions at Flipkart. And I think that has been great. So thank you all for committing to this project. And I think it's going to be wonderful because the kind of mentorship, because of the kind of opportunities that Flipkart provides, it would be really, really good for your own career. Over to you, Zen. Thank you so much for having me and sharing, letting me share my thoughts on this.
Thank you so much, Varsha. There was so much that I could resonate with, and to the audience, right? I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Varsha, right? One important takeaway is that you have to grab opportunities at different stages. Complacency is something that should not settle in. And the idea behind Runway was that, as Prajakta also mentioned, right? How do we give women engineers that glimpse of what it is like? And when you come to Flipkart as an intern, there's no differentiation as such. I mean, obviously, you will get more mentoring, you will get more guidance, and it will not be like you'll be compared to somebody who's a SD1 or 2 from a knowledge perspective, but from a responsibility perspective or an accountability perspective, that expectation will be there that, you're a intern, you will be given projects or assignments which are having an impact and which will increase your learning. So,
Absolutely. I think when Shruti, just to quote an example, when Shruti joined us, we did not bifurcate whether she was an intern or an SD1. Of course, we are here to mentor, as I said. Guidance and mentorship will always be available. But I think the project that we gave Shruti was dependent on SEO, and SEO being highest priority at Flipkart because we are an e-commerce company, and search engine optimization is at the core of it. So I don't think in terms of opportunity we ever differentiate between, interns and SDs. We set the right sort of guidance and mentorship for those and let them take it forward. So it's very open culture here.
yeah, and that's why I think all those who are on the call, and even those who aren't, probably who are going to probably listen to you, and in the recording that we may share at a later stage, please ensure that you're grabbing these opportunities. Don't feel that, hey, this is a tough competition. How do I get through with so many students who apply? You never know when you can make it to the finale. So thank you so much, Varsha, for sharing your experiences and being here today. Okay, so now that we're done with inputs from Prajakta and Varsha, we'll directly jump over to our two alums who are waiting. Just let me bring on stage Mitali and Shruti. Mitali and Shruti, you are on the front stage now. Thank you so much for volunteering to be a part of the launch event. We have opened registrations and the initial response has been great to Runway. You all were there in season 2 when Runway was still building its trajectory, right? And we were thinking that, hey, how do we reach out to students? How do we get the best folks to apply to Flipkart and then build a mechanism to hire the best from across any campus in India, right? And you two were there in the top 15, and now you're back in, while we're doing season 4 launch, you're back here as Flipsters again. So handing it over to you to talk about how your journey has been. What do you want to share with people who are actually on the call and listening to you folks? And probably they have a lot of questions. I have a few questions which I will pose to you once you are finished with, the things that you want to share. We'll cover those aspects as well. But passing on to you and Mitali to take it ahead. Uh, Mitali, you are on mute, I think. Is it just me or Shruti, you're able to hear Mitali?
Yeah, I guess she's on mute.
No, Mithali, you're not audible. You
Could be
might
your
want,
headset. Maybe just remove it and try the audio.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll continue by then. So, first of all, thanks, Zen. Thanks for inviting us. It's really great to be here. And we are excited to share our journeys with everyone and let them know how Flipkart Runway is such an awesome opportunity for them. So, yes.
Thank you, Shruti. Mithali, we'll do a quick audio check before we proceed. Can you just try and disconnect your headphones and then join using maybe the laptop audio? Or maybe you can go to the audio setting tab and just check if the speaker and the microphone selected are same as the one that you're connected to.
I'm audible now?
Yes, loud and
Yes.
clear, Mithali.
Okay. Hi, everyone on the call. I'm grateful to have you all, and thank you, Flipkart, for having us. And it's a pleasure to be here. So,
Thank you, Mithali and Shruti. I think let's start with the basics, right? What is Runway all about? I think me talking about Runway will be very boring for the audience. I think if they hear it from the engineers who have been part of the program, I think that's more fun. So, any one of you want to go first and share your inputs on what is Runway?
Okay, so I'll start. Flipkart Runway is an incredible opportunity for aspiring women engineers like you all and me to fast track your journey into the world of technology. Now, this season, Flipkart Runway's theme is all about her today and text tomorrow. This perfectly reflects Flipkart commitment to innovation and exclusion. So it's a program best fit for you all, and we urge you all to apply. So yeah, anything you want to add, Mitali?
yeah. Like after listening to Shruti, you must be excited to know, like you must be knowing about what Flipkart is, but you know the eligibility criteria. So coming to its eligibility, this opportunity is open to all the female engineers in their second year of undergraduate studies, or it is also open for third year of dual degree program who are expected to graduate in 2026. It is very early opportunity for you all, I must say, and to familiarize yourself with the corporate world through this 2 month internship program, which is very incredible opportunity, I must say. Yes.
Additionally, wanted to add something to what Mitali said. It just isn't an internship opportunity. It also offers an exclusive chance for the top 500 cohort to, access firstly the interview skills workshops. Then there are networking events. Then there are tech sessions led by experts and much more that is planned for you all.
And that's a short, crisp thing about what Flipkart Runway really offers, and it is.
Thank you so much, Shruti and Mithali, for capturing it. I think this year we definitely want to move the needle on engagement that you mentioned, right? Having tech fireside sessions or even things which can enable better interview preparedness for the top 500 cohort. So definitely we'll work on that. But generally, I also see that, if you look at the total pool of registration versus the total pool of women engineering students, right? There's still a lot of delta, right? Uh, where did you hear about Flipkart Runway? Was it through Flipkart emails that go to placement cell? Was it through social media? Was it through some other channel? If you can share those inputs, I think we as a team will also get to know where do we need to action on more.
Sure, sure. Certainly for me, I learned about this opportunity through my college WhatsApp group. There was a WhatsApp group where new opportunities are frequently shared up between us. So afterwards, I reach out to my seniors that this is the opportunity that Unstop has offered on Unstop it scheme for the Flipkart, and connecting with the individuals on LinkedIn on who had participated in Runway before. So I get to know more about from them as well. After hearing their experience and stories, it made me think like, why should I not give it a shot? Let's go and participate. I was not really know what runways are at that time. So by them, I get to know what really runway offers and what runway program is all about.
Yeah, so my experience was quite similar to Mitali. I was really active on LinkedIn because I heard that girls can get a lot of tech opportunities even from their first year. So that's where I first heard about Flipkart Runway. I saw different posts and updates about the program there, and I got curious about it. So I searched for some more info online and read articles on Medium written by Runway alums and participants. So this intrigued my interest. Yeah.
So,
Got
yeah.
Yeah, I think from a perspective of like Mitali, you mentioned, right? WhatsApp group was your mode of communication. Uh, Shruti, you mentioned that, LinkedIn was your medium. Do you feel are there any other ways we can tap or at least share information about Runway?
Yeah, there's a Telegram group with the name Arsh Goel Fam and Arsh Goel YouTube, and many other influencers also share.
Influencers, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like nowadays people follow a lot of WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups where opportunities keep on getting updated. So pinging our Flipkart Runway thing on that groups now, that creates a lot of impact. So I
Okay.
guess Harsh Goyal has posted our opportunity as well on his
right.
channel.
He has shared a YouTube video as well for the same.
Nice. I had met Ash last year at the Unstop Awards. I'm sure we would meet him again, but that's a topic for another day. Moving ahead, I think in terms of the process, right? Do you feel it's too heavy? Because at times people feel, ki, hey, I would register. They go to the registration link and then they come back, right? So, what was your experience? And maybe you can share some inputs on how to go about it.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
yeah, sure. So
Answering to the process question. So for the process, let me jot it down into the 4 steps. First of all, you have to register on and stop. If not done, you can go do it now. Just you can click at and stop site and just register for the Flipkart. Is a very huge opportunity for you all guys. Secondly, you have to nail the online test assessment, which is an OA. After that, you have to submit an SOP where you can share your stories and reviews. That is a non-eliminatory round, so you don't have to worry about anything onto that. But last but not the least, and very important, you have to shine into your interviews. So that's all about what's the process for getting into the Flipkart internship program.
Got it. Anything you want to add, Shruti?
yeah, the thing you mentioned, right? We go to the portal and then we come back. So on that, I know that you all are in second year. So there's a bit of hesitation that we all face, right? That we don't have much knowledge right now. Are we capable enough to participate in this program? So I just want to say that keep these hesitations aside, participate in this program. Surely you will take some experience out of this and gain giving an interview with such a company like Flipkart. So whatever be the result, it will surely add something to your experience. So please apply for it, give it a try. You don't know the result, like anything can happen. You can get into the interviews, you can get an internship at Flipkart. So yeah, just be confident throughout the process.
Great. I think very valid point that don't feel that you're in second year so you cannot get through, or there are other people who may be able to get through. Uh, and online tests are, I know on that day the question that comes whether you know or not, but you should not go with the mindset that I will not know. You should go with the mindset that I'll prepare and I'll, hit it out of the park, and you will gain experience out of any stage, even the application stage. You will get to know what kind of questions are asked. If you reach till the interview stage, you get to have an interview experience right in second year, whereas some people would be giving it next year and third year, right? So I think valid point, Shruti and Mitali. Another key piece is on the preparation, right? We have an online test, which Mitali was talking about, and you also briefly mentioned. So, uh, how to prepare for the online test, where to look at the resources, is there any websites or any other ways that they can prepare?
Shruti, you want to mention about?
Yeah, so starting with the online, I'll start with it. So first we have the online quiz round, right? There you will be asked basic coding fundamentals and some Flipkart related questions. So this is also mentioned in the description on Unstop. Now mentioning some other points. So there are two key aspects to keep in mind for this round. First is accuracy and the other one is speed. Mithali, do you want to continue to say the sources for the online quiz round?
Sure. It's very correct, very correctly said. Both are equally important for you to get into the clear the OA round. Uh, and for the practice, you can refer to the Striver SD sheet, and Arsh will also share some sheet for the same. Additionally, you can refer to Send Foundry and Interview Bit for more practice onto the MCQ part. So this was the online assessment part that I have also referred, and I can refer you guys as well.
Yes, I also align with Mithali. Now, after you clear the online assessment, right? The next stage that Mithali mentioned was the SOP round. That is the statement of purpose. So you need to write an SOP for this stage. Now, writing an SOP for me was like painting a picture of my journey and dreams. So it was a very fun process. I started it off by writing about myself, including my skills, my experiences, reflecting my passion for software development. So then it was all about sharing my personal stories, including learnings from group projects and talking about some problems and suggestions in e-commerce and, connecting the dots between my skills and what Runway wanted. And in the whole application, I was trying to sprinkle a bit of me everywhere that, hey, this is me. I want to reflect this. I want to show this skill. So it's important that you highlight all of these things in your SOP. Correct, Mithali?
Right. And for me also, it is almost same. Like in my SOP, I detail about my setbacks that I've encountered throughout my journey till that day. Following that, I expanded on my academic background, interest, experiences, achievements, and aspirations that I have at that time. Also, I emphasize more on involvement in technical societies of my college and activities that I usually participate, like hackathon and all. Also the projects that I have worked and I have collaborating with my team in the college itself. Overall, my SOP is centered on my eagerness to learn and achieve significant accomplishment to make both me and myself and my family proud of me.
Yeah, I think a valid point. SOP, I know there are a lot of sites which will probably create an SOP for you, but
Right.
a cookie cutter SOP will be very clearly visible to the team, right? So do not focus on things like, hey, it should have fancy words or it should be something which is not you. Focus on it being a story of you, on your dreams, as Shruti and Mithali have shared, right? I think your flavor in the SOP will make you stand out. And the SOP is important, by the way, right? I think that is a question which has come up in the FAQ also, that how do we decide if the scores are tied? How do we take it forward? That is where the SOP comes into the picture. SOP by itself is not an initial cutoff. It's an add-on when we have a lot of students tied at the same score and we want to kind of uh, decide whom do we want to take to the next stage, which is the interviews. And coming to the interviews, I think that would be one of the most asked questions, so to say, that, hey, how do I prepare for the Flipkart interview? I know people know that it's about problem solving and data structures, but which data structures, how to kind of prep for it? Do we write pseudocode? Do we have to write actual code? Or how about it? I think that is something which Shruti, Mitali, you can spend a few minutes to talk, tell the audience about how you prepared, what kind of questions were asked to you, or any other tips that you want to get to them.
Sure, Zen. I'll take it first. So, as Zen mentioned, the most crucial part of the process is the one-on-one interviews. So, in this process, you would mostly have two one-on-one interviews. So, for me, I was giving the interviews for the first time in my life of Flipkart Runway. So, it was truly an exciting process where I learned a lot of things throughout the process. So, in the interviews, I believe it is important to express what's going in your mind. Like we say, right? Speak your mind out. Do that in the interviews. It's really important to speak out loud what's going in your mind. How are you going with the flow? What do you want to do next? So it's important to speak that out. And even if you know the optimal solution for the answer, right, and you don't convey it nicely to the interviewer, it is of no use. Okay, now coming to what I practiced for these technical interviews, I used to do lead code medium questions in a time bound manner. Like I used to set particular time for a question and then start the timer, then do that question and then check how much time did I take to do that. So it's important to do that in that way. Then I gave mock interviews on platforms like InterviewBit, and I asked my peers as well to take some mock interviews and give honest feedback to it. Then I practiced like how to handle situations if I'm not able to answer any question, or if I'm not able to get a question and I want to guide the interviewer in some other way that I wanted. So this is a skill that you will learn by giving more and more interviews. So yes, and I also looked for some good coding practices like writing meaningful variable names, then being mindful of spacing and indentation and these things, right? So it's important to keep that in mind. It's good if you write the actual code because they have that editor that they have opened. You have to write the actual code, and it's good if you test it by dry running it and so on. So it's good to mention the time and space complexity of your code and ask your interviewer if they require a dry run to get a clarity on your code. So this gives an impression that you are clarified with the code in your mind and you are ready to present it in the manner that the interviewer want. Do you want to add something, Mitali?
Right, for sure. For me, honestly, I was quite nervous because it was my second year and I had to appear for an interview that consists of a data structure and algorithm questions. Like many of you, I was also confused where to start and how to start. So I shared everything I was feeling with my senior, whom I relied on the most, I know, and asked for his opinion. He honestly say I can honestly say like I was so lucky at that time because he helped me a lot during that time and acted as a guide to crack the interview. I began by solving lead code and geeks DSA questions consistently and participate in weekly and bi-weekly contests hosted on lead code at that time, or and also it's been hosted so you can just participate on consistent basis. I kept track of my performance regularly. At the start of each day, I set target, and at the end of the day, I assess how much I have achieved so that I can could improve uh, every next day and can learn from the previous day. Apart from this, I used to give a mock interviews to my seniors and colleagues once or twice a week, as far as I remember, because it's not just about solving the problem, it's all about how you communicate your thoughts during that 45 minutes of interview. Your approach, the edge cases you take care of, the indentation, as Shruti has mentioned, the naming of the variables and the functions that plays a crucial role while you code your solution during the interview process. Also, mentioning time and space complexity adds a cherry onto that, so that the interviewer know that you know much more about the data structure part. So this was all about solution that have to implement during the interview process.
Correct, Mitali. And just adding some bit to that, topics that you can focus on for the interviews, they are like trees, graphs, then basics of bit masking and DP, then linked list, stack, strings, and logical array-based questions. So these are some of the questions that were asked from previous alums as well as participants. So you can focus on these topics. Also practice how to identify appropriate data structure for that question given to you. This is the most crucial stage, right? Note that you won't be asked much of CS fundamentals as they also know that you are just in your second year. So brushing up your DSA, then time complexity for important theorems and concepts should be enough to go. Yeah, over to you, Zen.
Great. I think, and it's only one piece that I'm adding, both of you have kind of covered it very extensively. Don't wait till you have cleared the online test to kind of start preparing. I think as techies vying for a job in the good to great kind of firms, right? Your preparation for DSA based questions should start from the first year itself. If you haven't started, you should start ASAP. That will help you a long way. Even if suppose you've cleared runway, great. If you have not, still also you will have a lot of learnings which will help you. So start that preparation, whatever resources which Mitali and Shruti have shared, or maybe there's something new in the market now for preparation, etc. Do not deter and reach out to your seniors. I think that was a very great point brought out by Mitali, that seniors can be a very uh, good guiding, they can be a good mentor for you. Seniors who've been part of Runway are plus one. seniors who also interned somewhere will also be a good guide to kind of uh, get the mentoring from. They will be able to share their inputs, do mock interviews, and kind of help. And even if you don't get a senior, you can, you know, have a buddy with whom you can do the mock interviews or preparation. I think it always helps if you have the right company when you're preparing for events or interviews. Apart from that, I think the other thing which I wanted to check was that obviously, prepping up takes a lot of time and bandwidth. Uh, how was your first internship experience? Any challenges that you faced? And you can share the challenges. I know you may feel ki, hey, Zen is there. Let's not share the challenges, but share the challenges, the opportunities, the good and bad part both, right? It's okay to kind of give what are the challenges which flinters may face, right? Some people feel that, hey, I'll do an internship, it will be all fun and games. For some, they may feel, ki, hey, will it be too boring or will it be a mix? So I think most people may want it to be a mix, but what was your experience? If you can share, I think that will give them a light of what internship is all about.
Of course, of course. During my internship, I was assigned under a team Clear Trip Hotel. You must have heard about, where I had the opportunity to work on offer page and handle the various errors on their page. And the best part was that project that I worked on for 2 months went into the production and was delivered to lakh of daily active users. Also, apart from this, at Flipkart, it's not all work and no play. There's a good work-life balance. We have various team building activities like team outings and parties. The best thing about interning at Flipkart is collaborating with the networks of many great minds and learning their experiences. You all must be amazed to know that Flipkart still carries the startup culture where you can create things from scratch, and even your smallest idea might add great value to the Flipkart. Concluding to my points, I wanted to say that environment of Flipkart and its people, they are like a thali with each and every flavor blended together but tasted different in their own way.
Very correctly put, Mitali. I completely agree with you. The learning curve and the fun that I had at Flipkart na, as a part of Runway intern, and even now as well, that is immense. Like, just imagine you are working on something that truly creates impact and it eases the user experience. So, what else do you want as a second year intern? I was a part of the user acquisition and retention unit. My team specifically targeted in gaining the next 200 million customers for Flipkart. So in my team, there were so many amazing people in my team ready to help anytime I asked for. Like, they recognized that I was new to this field, so they held me throughout the way. They don't help in a spoon feeding manner that they're telling you everything. They held you accountable for that, whatever you do. But they recognize that you are quite new to this field, so they help you at every stage. And it seems so satisfying to see your work live at such a stage. And now, going apart from work, there were team outings to places like Guhantara Resort and some places to eat as well. We used to celebrate if we achieve something big or meta targets. So basically, they ensured that things don't get monotonous and you're not burdened by work much. Now, I just want to share one memory that happened. So at the time of my farewell, right? I remember it was a Wednesday afternoon. And that day used to be busy, full of meetings, sprint planning, grooming, and so on. But my manager, like, she was Varsha, who just spoke before this alum session, right? So she bought a cake for farewell and wished me success ahead. Now, this personalization feeling that you get at Flipkart, right? This is really amazing. And it feels great to be back here with Flipkart with such a new excitement. So yeah, anything to add, Mitali?
Also, Shruti, you remember all the HR took us to the Mango Mist Resort for an outing. How amazing it was, na? They made sure that we enjoyed a lot at that time.
Correct. And not to meant to mention, everything was sponsored by them only.
The year when we had a lot of budget, huh? But I think tech folks have a lot of offsites and other things that Flipkart. I'm always jealous. Jokes apart, I think thank you for sharing these experiences, right, Shruti and Mitali. Anything else before we jump into the Q&A? that you want to share? I know you've talked about how to prepare for the OA, how to prepare for the interview. You've talked about your internship journey as well. And we still have a few minutes before we kind of close, right? Anything as a parting word, as a word of advice to the young engineering minds who are on the call that you want to share?
Sure, sure. So just want to highlight some points. Like due to this early kickstart that you get in your career, right? This helps to grab many opportunities. It helps increase your skill set and get an edge over other applicants anytime later you apply for any internship opportunity. So yes, anything you want to add, Mitali?
Also, there are high chances of getting PPI after runway summer internship. So the tension of getting an internship in third year is resolved in second year only. So you have to don't worry and get a chill life in third year.
Yeah,
Correct.
and after that, get a PPO for a final opportunity as well.
Of course.
So for us, I think I remember telling this to Runway Season 2 batch as well as 3 batch that for us at Flipkart, I think if the interns are the pool where we hire the most from, right? We have interns who join us for 2 months. We have other internship programs for 6 months as well. And our aim is that if somebody who's an intern with us is made a full-time offer, I think that is the best value fit. The person would have been in Flipkart for some time, would have worked in XYZ team, would have had that experience of what's just actually like rather than just being on the other end of a pre-placement talk, right? When companies come and, showcase. Anyways, HRs are infamous for showcasing a very glamorous picture of how it is to work like. Therefore, internship to full-time conversions or internship to an internship like Runway provides you, right? From second year to third year and from third year to a fourth year internship or a full-time offer. I think those are some of the very good programs for students also. It's a win-win for both the organization as well as the student. You get a real life picture, we get to know whether you're the right fit or not. And yes, during Mitali's time, I think we were a batch of 15. After that, last year, we were a batch of, I think, close to around 18 odd folks. The first season had somewhere around 20 odd folks. So each year, the number kind of varies. This year, we have a slightly larger number. And again, it depends on how the students perform. We don't keep a very hard cut number that, hey, only these many will come. If there is talent in the market, we would want to absorb the best of the lot. So come with an open mind is something that I would want to reiterate from a university relations standpoint. Prepare well. Registrations close on 11th of March, so we still have a few more days, a week's time to be precise. Register if you've not done. Be a good friend and tell others also about the opportunity and wish you all the best. We'll take a pause and I think I'll wait for Shruti or Mitali to add anything else. I'll quickly look at the questions that have come and I'll pose it to you, Shruti and Mitali.
Yeah, so just want to say that we all urge you to apply for it with full heart and just give your best. Please give it a try to it. Just don't hesitate. And we would like to hear your thoughts about this. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are a few questions which say, oh, Mitali, you want to add anything?
I'm just saying it's very big opportunity. You don't have to miss it. Just go ahead and register as soon as possible.
Great. My job is half done, almost full done. I think there are a few questions on the basics, right, which I will cover. One was in terms of whether the hiring process will be online. So yes, it will be online. There's no in-person interviews. Everything will be on platforms that we use like SHL or Google Meet. And we will also be doing the process. The dates are already on and stop. Registrations close on 11th and then followed by the online test and then the interviews for those who make it through along with the SOP submission. Uh, Also, in terms of number of students, I think I've covered it just 2 minutes back when I was talking about how we've hired interns in the past and how we're looking to hire more. There's no XYZ number in our mind, but we have a rough figure and we look forward to hiring the best from those who apply. Uh, I think there are repeated questions, some of which you have covered, Shruti and Mitali, but I'll just recap it because those are the most sought after questions, right? A is what is the syllabus for the online test? How can they prepare? I think if you can recap some of the sites which you were mentioning that you use for preparing or even for interviews, right? The second question will be on interviews that what kind of questions come in for interviews, which are the data structures, algorithms, that they need to prepare more. If you can touch base on these two, I think most of the questions are on these lines. I'll scout for others. In the meantime, you can answer these questions.
Yes, okay. So for the first online quiz round, right, as I mentioned, focus on basic coding fundamentals. And so you will be asked questions that will require some of oops in it, right? It won't be asked directly, but yes, you should be aware of some things. Then be aware of Flipkart related questions, that what's going in Flipkart. So you can see that on the Flipkart site as well. Then there were questions on covering CS fundamentals, but they know that you are in second year, right? So just don't focus into the deeper aspects of it. Just brush up what we say na, upar se. Just do that, cover the basics.
Yeah, and for interview, you can refer to string data structure, trees, graph, not that hard question. You can cover lead code medium questions that are enough to that. Also, you can refer to previous interviewed asked questions that from the Google, you can Google it and you can find on the GFG site the interview experience and all. You can also refer to them for your better understanding how to code and how to what things they do ask in the interview process. So for that, you can do there.
Also for keeping in check the mind for online quiz round, right? The time, right? So for that, you can practice the MCQs on Sand Foundry and GFG. So a lot of MCQs are there based on DSA. So just go through them. You will get an idea that how companies ask. So yes, you will get a hold of it.
And do give mock interviews. It is very recommended because if you freshly present in front of the interview, you might do something that is not expected and that is not you wanted to present. So presentation is must, and good presentation is the best thing that you can crack the interview for the process. So giving mock interview helps a lot.
Great. There are a few other questions on programming languages to use while solving the questions, right? While I know I've answered this question earlier, uh, not in this, but in other sessions, that hey, we are language agnostic, so to say, right? You could solve a problem using C++, you can solve it using Python. That's how we do it in the online coding assessment separately. But for the interviews, Shruti, Mitali, do you feel, is there any preference for language, or how should they go about it?
No, no. As far as I remember, there was no such language preference. You can code in C++, Java, C, Python, any language you are comfortable with. So the compilers were all language friendly.
Right, for me as well.
Got it. And I think there was also a question in terms of how many people will make it from round one to round two and round three. As I said, I think that's still not decided. It depends on how the scores are. But yes, the opportunity for top 500 students to clear round one will be there, and we will have those engagement activities planned. After that, we will do a further shortlisting with interviews and arrive at the final list of people who will be interning with us. So prepare well. There was another, I think, question on resources we've covered, coding we've covered. Okay. There was something on Unstop portal that somebody is not able to upload resume. You can reach out to the Unstop support team. They will help you out, or you can reach out to us if that doesn't work out. And yeah, I think we've largely covered most of the themes that we've got the questions from the folks on. Uh, we are almost at 6 o'clock as well. So once again, a big thank you, Shruti and Mitali, for joining in and sharing your experiences, your inputs for the audience. Thank you, Pratishtha, for setting this up, and a shout out to Prajakta and Varsha, who joined us earlier in the day to share their experiences and talk about Flipkart. We're always excited to launch a program. Runway is the first program in the calendar year that gets launched, so always special. And hoping to see more participation, more competition, and the best students making it up. Thank you so much, everyone. And with this, we'll sign off. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Mitali. Everyone, wish you a very good evening once again, and have a great week and year ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Please apply with your full heart.
Thank you, everyone.
Pratishtha, you can, I think, end the webinar. Sure. Shruti and Mitali, you can drop off. Thank you so much for joining me. We close the feed now.
Thank you, Zen.
Thank you, Zan. Thank you, Prajishta.